Hi, Internet people.
Oh.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the big show.
Welcome to pre-show?
The big show.
The big show.
Like the wrestler?
This is Sports Center. I'll plug my phone in.
I'm not sure why, but I've been watching a lot of wrestling-related videos on YouTube recently. For whatever reason, I've just been down in that rabbit hole.
Yeah, it happens.
Oh. Just wait for the message to pop up in the chat. And that's when I know that we can start.
Hey! It says we're streaming now.
Yes. So that means I should get the notification pretty soon. All right. So we got the go live, we got the notice in chat. So why don't we get started?
Yeah.
Sure.
Starting the show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming up on episode 161, Ring Fit Adventure, Fighters and Rogues and Rangers, oh my, esports, sitcoms, and much, much more on the 8-Bit Adventures podcast. Hello, everyone! Welcome to the 8-Bit Adventures podcast, and I am your host for getting the opening after 161 episodes. I am your host, Sean Hayes, and with me are my co-hosts, as always, Courtney Bolin.
Hi, everybody.
And Josh York.
Wait, what did you forget?
Just how to do the intro. Of course, I say that, and it's been the past 3 episodes that I've forgotten how to do the intro.
I mean, who needs an intro? You just start.
Well, I mean, we do.
You just get into it.
So yeah, welcome to the 8-Bit Adventures podcast, where we are covering the pop culture and gaming news that we think is interesting to talk about over the course of the past week. So, yeah, we had some kind of unusual news come up this week. One of the things that I did not put in the show notes that is probably worth mentioning is Verizon customers are going to get a year of Disney Plus for free.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be a new customer to get that.
I thought you were going to say something else.
Now I'm not sure how I feel
something that's
about
something that's not quite gaming related.
Something you didn't put in the notes, but was a big deal this week.
Well, I'm sure I missed a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah, so I wanted to throw that in there. So if you're a Verizon customer, you should look into that, because you don't have to be a brand new customer. It's not one of those you have to sign up now for Verizon. Apparently, existing customers will be able to get in on that deal. Don't be like me and miss out on every deal so far for Disney Plus. So, all right then, Josh. What news? What other news did I miss?
Star Wars trailer.
Oh,
yeah.
I saw it. I did forget to put it in here. Yes, I did forget to put that in the notes. That is kind of a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought maybe.
Considering we already pre-ordered our tickets.
Yes, we did. Well, Tuck did, but yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, we got it during Monday Night Football because Monday Night Football is ESPN, which is owned by Disney.
Wait,
And
what?
Star Wars is also owned by Disney.
Yep.
Yeah, the trailer premiered
That's why the
during
Disney-
Monday Night
That's
Football.
why.
Monday Night
Yeah.
Football is on ESPN now?
I think so.
That's
Yeah.
why you're able to get the Disney
I've
Plus
not watched
bundle with
football
Hulu.
in maybe a decade, so
Yeah. Yeah, the game otherwise was again like a washout. But
there was a football game on Twitch the other week.
oh yeah, Twitch has Thursday Night Football.
Oh, okay.
Because
Yep.
it's on Amazon Prime, and Amazon Prime has Thursday Night Football. So you watch it on the Amazon Prime channel on Twitch.
Yep.
Yeah,
and turn off the chat because
like, why is this?
Because if Twitch chat was normally bad, Twitch chat with football is assuredly worse.
Oh
I'm
man.
kind of interested to see,
Since those two communities are kind of bad on their own, and then when you bring them together, it's a special kind of awful.
I like to watch insane toxicity like that play out sometimes, just because I think it's an important thing as a human to know that it exists and to what extent it exists. Just so that you're
that's
aware.
just who was it that had that quote? Was it Nietzsche?
Oh, when you stare at the abyss.
Staring into the abyss.
Yeah, and the abyss stares back at you.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, it's like reading Blood Meridian, like my favorite book. It's like that book's all about the evil of mankind and just knowing that it's in everybody's hearts and to what extent it can be. That's like watching Twitch chat.
Yes.
The evil that lies within all people's hearts is laid out bare before us in Twitch chat.
It is the So, but anyway, the Star Wars trailer. We got that. It's the final trailer for Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, I mean it kind of, touched on some of the notes. It didn't really give us more information, really.
Nope, not really.
No.
Which I like. I like the fact that
a couple times
we don't really know a lot of what's gonna happen.
I mean, there's gonna be some Palpatine thing going on. It was
we do know that. Yeah,
it was Palpatine all along.
Yep.
I don't mind that.
I don't know. I will be sure to bring plenty of tissues this year.
For when Palpatine shows back up. Yeah.
Because anybody who's been listening to our spoiler casts of Star Wars over the years knows that Courtney is a blubbering mess during Space Mom scenes.
Yep.
So,
Palpatine is Space Mom.
No.
Why would you say something like that?
I don't know.
Why would you say something like that?
Why would you say something so hurtful and yet so controversial?
That's just mean. That's just how rude.
But yeah. So
I'm just reading some stuff that Anakin might show up.
What?
Yeah, I mean that'd be interesting.
I mean,
Maybe.
I wouldn't be surprised if he came back as a Force ghost or something.
And just slaps Kylo and says, "You're all wrong.
Yeah.
I didn't get redeemed and turned into a Force ghost just to have my grandson turn into a Sith wannabe."
I mean, all the Sith now are kind of wannabes compared to the old school
Kind
Sith.
of. What if we get Palpatine back and he tells Kylo, "Let me tell you the story." That'd be great.
I think it's. I'm pretty confident Snoke is Plagueis. Or was.
Yeah, there's lots of
Maybe.
conspiracy theories on that.
Oh yeah.
But
Or
I don't
fan
know.
theories. I don't know if you'd really call it a conspiracy theory.
I just so what do we think of that Star Destroyer coming up out of the water?
Cool scene, visually cool.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah. I I mean, that was the thing, was I was always under the impression that Star Destroyers could not operate in atmosphere.
No, they absolutely can.
But we've seen that happen a couple times now.
Yeah.
More than a couple
I don't
times
care.
with Clone Wars and stuff.
I don't
Yeah.
care how it works. Don't explain to me how it works. Just put it on the screen, and I'm gonna suspend my disbelief and say, yeah, that's
Yep.
sure. Why not?
You're like, yep, I don't want to know the science of it. Nope.
Nope,
We're not.
don't care.
We're not shattering dreams right now.
It's a space fantasy movie. I don't care.
Absolutely.
Well, to be fair,
Science
I also don't remember where I heard that, so I don't know if it was just something that like was casually mentioned in like a non-canonical thing, or if it was just somebody saying it. But yeah. I mean, it would seem kind of silly if it couldn't, because like, how would you get it out
How
of the
do
atmosphere?
you get it up?
You would have
No,
to
you have to just bring
trans-
You'd have to
everything
build it
out
in
to
space. Yeah.
You have to build it in space. Yeah. You know.
Which, I mean, they did with the Death Stars, but that's just silly.
But those were moon-sized.
Yes.
Moon-sized.
Those
We're
were
going to
no
build a
moons.
moon on the moon.
Whoa.
Double
Those-
moon.
Those were no moons.
You would think what's really funny about the Death Star is like you wouldn't even need weaponry on it, just by the fact that like you could swing it into the orbit of a planet or whatever and then start affecting it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just start messing stuff up.
Yeah, because if it's moon-sized, I mean,
Oh no, the
Just make
tide
it-
is 10 feet higher now.
nah, dude, look at what happened in Bruce Almighty when he brought the moon closer. It messed up all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, but I mean
Well, we all
that
know
movie's...
Bruce Almighty is known for its scientific.
Yes.
We all know Star Wars is known
Actuality.
for its scientific actuality.
That's
But
what we're
what-
joking about.
Yep.
What I mean though is like if you fly it close enough to a planet, you could probably mess some stuff up pretty badly.
sure.
Gravitational forces.
Yeah.
Maybe even get the core to stop spinning or spin in the wrong direction. And then you have to get some unobtainium
What?
and then drive
Oh,
down to the
gosh.
core.
Wow. Are
Sorry,
we really
I
doing
was-
this crossover?
Sorry, I was watching a YouTube video on disaster movies. It was one of those like they bring in experts to like
Yep.
show how accurate various types of movies and scenes are. And
Or
they did
inaccurate.
and they did disaster movies and they just like thoroughly debunked the core. Particularly when the birds are just like flying into things. They were like, yeah, I mean it'll affect birds' long range navigation, but like birds can see. They won't just like fly into buildings.
What do you mean? They don't use echolocation and everything's all topsy-turvy now?
But echolocation doesn't depend on magnetic fields.
No, it doesn't.
No. And the sad part is they even bring that up in the movie. Like, how do birds fly? Sight? No, they use magnetic fields. It's like, no, they have eyes, they see.
Similar to how bats have eyes and they see.
Yes. So, but yeah. So all in all, I mean, I'm excited for the movie. I think
I always am.
Mhm.
it'll be interesting given that it'll be the end of the saga. We'll see what we got going on.
I'm excited. As I said, I'm bringing tissues.
Yeah.
It's not the end. I'm not convinced it's the end.
Well, it's not the end of Star Wars, but I'd imagine it'll be they'll want to be done with Skywalker stuff.
We'll see.
I think.
I don't know, dude. Money is an extreme compeller.
Yeah. But I mean, it won't be the end of Jedi stuff or whatever, because I know, we're getting the Obi-Wan
Getting stuff on.
like
yeah.
miniseries. So,
No,
yeah.
I think this is the end of the Skywalker stuff. Because even Disney even said that when they bought it. Like
Yeah.
that was gonna be they were gonna do the 3 and then that was gonna be it.
Yeah.
But
So,
Could be.
in other news, it was announced today that NBC and CBS have ordered pilots for sitcoms about esports.
Great sitcom.
Uh, The one for NBC is apparently one of the co-producers is Johnny Galecki. And the other person in charge was a writer for Big Bang Theory.
Okay.
So probably something in that vein. The other one, it's by CBS, is apparently going to be about a retired NBA player who buys an esports team to bond with
second.
his estranged son. Which
Hold on.
I am led to believe that this is like actually kind of a scenario that has happened.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, to be very
Rick
honest.
Fox.
Okay, yeah, that name
Yeah.
came up. So yeah.
Yeah, Rick Fox was a basketball NBA player,
Yeah.
and then I don't know if it was to bond with his son or whatever, but went and like invested in a bunch of esports stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we'll see.
Comedy like tragedy is best founded in reality.
I saw everybody like saw the announcement and were like, "Oh no, this is going to be awful." And then they saw like what CBS was actually planning to do and they were like, "No, you know what? I'm in on this." So who knows? Who knows? These are strange times we live in.
I can't
Yes,
do
they are.
sitcoms, so it's
Um,
just... Ugh.
I can do animated sitcoms.
That's different.
But they have to be
I
weird.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would watch an animated sitcom about an esports team.
You
Wait,
can
isn't
be more
Riot doing that?
flexible. Right, yeah, I don't know.
Or something similar to that?
Animation's a much more flexible mode of media, and you can do a lot more with it, and I think be more
Yeah.
creative with it. I think, unfortunately, television sitcoms are all very samey. And
Yeah.
if you've ever watched them without the laugh tracks, you realize how.
Oh
not
no,
funny
it's
they are.
creepy without the laugh track.
You realize they aren't funny at all.
Yeah, no, it's creepy without the laugh track. It's really, really, really creepy. I've done it a couple times, and I've been like, that's not right. That's no, thank you. But
Yeah. So, in gaming news,
yes.
this week, Hat in Time released on Switch. After the developers saying this is never coming to Nintendo Switch. Which was apparently due to technical issues. They found, I think it was basically Epic stepped in and like helped them resolve those problems. It looked like because it was built on Unreal 3 and the Switch runs on Unreal 4.
Oh, so there was problems porting it over.
So there were problems with porting it, yeah.
Yeah.
But apparently because of the difference in architecture, it does not run well. So there's a lot of folks that bought it and then they were like, "Oh, I regret this purchase."
And time's
Apparent-
kind of older, isn't it? Like it's a few years old.
It's
at
like
this
2
point.
years, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 2 years. I was looking it up earlier.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right.
Although apparently there are several cases where it doesn't run well on PC either, and there haven't been any patches to address the issues. So, yeah. At least the Switch version comes with DLC, which is something that PS4 and Xbox owners have been waiting for. So, but yeah, it's something that like I've definitely looked at picking up before because it looks like a really cute sort of Banjo / Super Mario 64 style platformer, 3D platformer. But yeah, I think this might be a sort of like Bloodstained, where it's kind of a wait and see if they fix the issues, performance issues, and then pick it up. So,
Did you
see if
play
they throw a patch
Bloodstained?
in there.
I have not played Bloodstained.
Okay.
I have
do
not.
you own it?
I do not own it.
Okay, I didn't know.
Because I was gonna get it for Switch, and then it came out with all the performance issues. And like apparently a lot of the
really good.
Yeah, and it's the performance issues. It turns out like a lot of the footage was from like the PS4 version, but showing it as for the
now I'm
Switch,
remembering this.
kind of a thing. Yeah, which is like a big faux pas.
Yeah, I remember this now.
So.
Oh wait, in the Switch ads, they were using gameplay from the PS4.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Dudes.
Which, like, in terms of the graphical quality, wasn't that different. It was just the fact that the PS4 was running at like 60 frames a second and there were no issues. Whereas like the Switch was stuttering and there were load time issues and stuff like that, and was like maybe trying to hit 30 consistently, but there were times it would drop to 10. So yeah, not great. I remember my
Wait, didn't we talk about this on here?
Yeah, we did. We did when it came out.
This now.
Yes,
I remember this now, talking about the frames dropping.
Yes.
Yeah.
As someone that had to play World of Warcraft like that back in the day, I can tell you that is not a fun way to play any game.
Yeah.
So I opted to wait. The other game that released this past week, Ring Fit Adventure.
Yeah.
I've been watching a guy on Twitch play this. And it actually doesn't seem... game-wise, whatever. It's a silly excuse for exercise, which is fine.
Yeah.
But like...
Hey, whatever gets you exercising.
Well, that's the point. It's not going to be great if you're already in shape. That I can say.
Yeah.
But I mean, you've got to be able to...
if you're just trying to get like back into fitness, or if you're out of shape and looking for a way like to whatever kickstart yourself, it's probably pretty good. Even like I think it'd be good for me because I haven't been like in the gym for like a year and a half, 2 years at this point. So I think even it'd be good for someone like me to try to like slowly get back into more physical
and I get the impression
activity.
that if it's for like if you're just doing to do kind of like casual exercise,
casual cardio.
Like for me, it's it seemed like silly for Megan and I to go to the gym because like we would just go to the gym and use the treadmill for like 20 minutes to a half hour and then leave. And it's like, oh, well, okay. I mean, we're not we're getting in our exercise, but like it's not fully utilizing the stuff at the gym. Like it's just going for the treadmill. So I'm excited for this because it'll get me to do other exercises.
Have you gotten it?
I have it. It took me it was quite an adventure just to get it.
Oh, really?
Did GameStop
have trouble stocking it?
We never even went to GameStop. It was so we were in North Adams on Saturday, and we stopped at Walmart to pick up some Halloween decorations and everything. And I was looking around and I didn't see it, and I asked, the people working there, and I said, "Hey, do you guys have Ring Fit Adventure?" And they were kind of like, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, like Ring Fit Adventure for the Switch or whatever." And they said, "Well, if it's not out there, we don't have it."
Oh my god!
Oh, well, you're very helpful. Okay, thank you. All right, let's leave. Leave now, please.
Yeah.
Because I swear I start blistering and burning every time I walk in there. So I then went to Target. I think on Sunday, and I checked the website first, and they said they have it. And then I went, and I didn't see it anywhere. And I was like, "Oh, here we go again." Did everybody just like buy this game right when it came out? Like I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I would like to think that everybody did, but I can't see it happening. And then they just had them in back. It's a big box. It's like this big.
I'd imagine it's a big box like the Labo systems where it's difficult to display it. So
yeah, they would kind of have to display it where Labo gets displayed because it's a thinner box because it's basically that size for the ring.
Yep.
But yeah, unfortunately, I haven't gotten a chance to play it yet due to just stuff going on.
Yeah.
But that is my plan.
Is it more expensive than a normal game because it has the peripheral?
Yes.
So basically the peripheral just adds $20, so it's $80 instead of $60.
Okay.
But yeah.
But that's not bad for a peripheral either.
No, it's fine.
No. I've also heard that people were a bit surprised as to how durable essentially the Pilates ring is.
It's going to need to because you're going to be squeezing it a lot, so it needs to like keep its, not flexibility, the opposite.
Resistance.
Tension?
Resistance
Tension.
or tension.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would probably hurt myself playing it, considering I hurt
It's-
myself sitting
It's
down.
pretty. I was watching the guy doing it. It's like there's a lot of like knee raises and like running in place, and there's a lot of movement.
Yeah,
So-
no, I would
Squats for the
absolutely-
win.
I would
Yeah,
absolutely hurt myself playing. That's just
I'm
Just do
thinking about-
squats, even
I've
when
thought
it's not
about it
optimal.
myself. I mean, hey, leg day is the most important day for sure. I've been thinking about getting it myself, just to kind of as a way to slowly get myself back into some type of fitness regimen before I fully commit to like lifting weights again in the gym and doing that
Yeah.
whole deal, because that's a whole nother level of stuff to do. I'm not
Mhm.
quite comfortable in doing that yet, but yeah, I think that might be something we'll see. It depends on what's going on with my other life stuff and what time allows. But it's an
Yeah.
interesting concept, and
And
it
there's
seemed
no
useful.
multiplayer with it at all. It's all single player.
I believe so,
I mean, there. I
because
don't
it
know
only
if there's,
comes
like,
with one
leader-
peripheral.
Are there like leaderboards or anything like that?
Yeah,
I-
can you like
I
invite your
don't know.
friends or be there?
I haven't looked that much into it to know that.
I don't know.
I mean, I just
I think it's a great thing.
yeah.
I just think that it is not for me.
I just want to block stuff with my abs.
Yeah, it's. I am curious. I want to see. So I'm hoping. Well, you can be one person I keep track of. I'm curious on how if people do it consistently for like say, I don't know. I don't know if it stops after the main story. It can't. It has to allow you to keep doing stuff even after you beat the main story. Otherwise, what's the point, right?
I think what it
So-
is like it might be a case where it's like a short adventure type thing, and I almost wonder if there's like not
There's gotta be,
roguelike
like, challenges.
elements,
There's gotta
but
be,
like yeah, let
challenges
you
or
just
something.
like the intent is that you keep replaying through.
Maybe I don't know.
Trying to get better times and
Yeah, and
But
stuff
what I'm
like that.
curious is
Better
to see people's
scores.
results. I want to see,
Yeah.
after say a month, 2 months, 3 months, if people do it consistently, what the results are. I'd be very, very curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To see if it was working for people. The other thing is to consider as well, and also advice, is take your diet into account as well. Because if you keep eating and drinking shit, oop, crap, sorry, dang it,
junk.
Ah,
It's fine.
junk.
Junk.
It's fine. We're basically PG-13, so
Yeah, I know. Well, there's
Yeah.
my one. So if you keep eating and drinking junk,
Yeah.
you're
It's never
kind
gonna.
of just balance
Yeah.
like you're at a zero sum, right?
I mean,
So, like-
coincidentally, we are also looking at starting like a Weight Watchers type thing. So
I mean, yeah, there's lots of different ways to do your diet, and all.
I mean, for us, just
Can be-
Yeah.
exactly. It depends on what works for you and what you can manage and what you're willing to commit to.
Mm-hmm.
I just I was looking at it and I kind of like the point type system
Mhm.
and how to
Yeah.
maximize efficiency of points. Because there is
Yeah.
a certain gaming element to that I enjoy.
Well, yeah, gamifying anything helps in
Mhm.
a lot of aspects for
Yeah.
people.
So it's like, oh, how many 0-point foods can I consume to feel full in a day? And then bank
wow.
all of my excess points on a single day and then go crazy.
Cheat day.
Yes. I mean, that's how it works, basically. The sad part is I don't like any of the 0-point, or a lot of the 0-point proteins, we'll
Yeah.
say.
What are they?
Eggs
Oh,
are like the
Like-
main one.
how the eggs are they?
But I mean, like, you know, like, I think boneless, skinless chicken breast is like another one. So it's just like, oh, well, that's consists of pretty
Classic.
much
Classic.
almost
diet.
all of the proteins we consume
Yeah.
Yeah.
for meals and stuff.
Yeah,
So
if you like chicken, you can diet.
yes,
'Cause you eat a lot of chicken.
yes, just can't do chicken nugs.
That's
You could
not
make your
really
own chicken nugs.
You could. We've done it,
Yeah.
but
I
Yeah.
mean, it's something that is entirely doable.
it's just
But
it's the
it just-
oil and breadcrumbs
Yeah.
that kind of throw that off. But anyway, so yeah, I should have some element of game time in before the podcast next week. So I will be sure to report in on how I have defeated Drago with my squats. So,
Yeah.
and then last up, more Unearthed Arcana people.
Yeah.
This is just they're just rolling through. They
are
have to be
just
doing like another
cranking it
Xanathar's
out.
guide or something because they've been doing a whole lot of Unearthed Arcana. So,
I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do.
I mean, I
No,
certainly hope so.
I
They've
don't
done.
think it's too hard to like make up subclasses. Honestly, like if
No.
you have a group of people working together and brainstorming and like
Oh, yeah.
editing together, like if you and Courtney sat down for a couple hours and like let's whip up some subclasses from some other class, we could come up with brainstorm some ideas and basic
yeah,
outlines,
absolutely.
basic
100%.
outlines of like abilities and things, and then
Yeah.
just take if you took that like a week long of a team working on that, you could kind of
Oh yeah.
even play test that out and over a couple
And they
month
said
period, you could
what they've done recently is it was basically like anybody was like pitching an idea to Jeremy Crawford and they were like, oh, that sounds kind of interesting. Let's put this one in. And then he said, like the Revived was something that he personally wanted to see. And he's like, and since I get the final say, he's like, I can get a little biased on what ones I want to put in.
Right.
So we've got the Rune Knight for fighters, which I feel like basically ties into Storm King's Thunder, where it builds on a lot of that rune magic type stuff.
It would fit in very well with that. Yeah.
So it's all very like, oh, you get big like giants, and then get giant rune type effects.
I like it. I know what I was thinking at first when it said Rune Knight. I was thinking Death Knights in WoW.
Yeah.
Because they use all the runes.
Yes.
All that. But similar in that, like, you make runes on your weapon and you get various magics and abilities depending on the runes you use. Which I like the idea that I think it's an interesting way to do things. It's a bit of a mix-up on the fighter.
I feel like fighters got a lot of more interesting subclasses, though.
They need it because otherwise they're pretty plain. Not knocking it, and it's still good the way like is in the player handbook, but I think giving it a bit of a different flavor and twist to still have that warrior base, but also with the twist of whatever other kind of flavor you want to add into it. Because there's all different types of warriors, so like why not go with that and do that? I think it's good.
Yeah. Then next up, we got the Swarmkeeper Ranger.
Is it? I didn't read this one at all. I tried to guess what it meant. Does it have to do with like you have bees? My guess was you have bees.
So you have Fey spirits that you have bonded with that take the form of a swarm. And the swarm can be of like any kind of small creature that you desire. So it could be bees. It could be bunnies. It could be frogs. It could be pigeons.
Wait. Does it have to be
It could be crows.
Does it have to
I
be
kinda like that.
like quote unquote regular animals, or could it be miniature unicorns?
It could in theory be miniature unicorns.
Yes.
Because what it looks like is an entirely cosmetic effect.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
They could be it could be a swarm of miniature giant space hamsters.
Yes.
But yeah, and then
okay.
Yeah, which is Boo.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and they get like different movement abilities. You're able to like use them to scry for you.
Okay.
And then the capstone is like it does this big like swirling vortex like ability that you can use once per day, or you can recharge it with 4th level spell slots. Or I presume higher level spell slots too.
Interesting.
So,
Very
um,
interesting.
I think it does kind of give a. It's almost kind of like an interesting alternative for people that want to play like a Beastmaster type class.
Yeah.
Whereas it doesn't give you like a singular companion that you bond with, but it's more like a group of spirits that have taken beast form.
Yeah.
And are
Interesting.
because I'll have to look it up. I don't think they have like hit points of their own. Like I don't think it's targetable as like a separate entity so much as it's
not like a regular swarm is.
yeah.
Interesting.
Is it just a spell or ability?
Yeah,
Or
I think
shows
it's
up when you use the spell or ability.
here we go.
Yay.
Yeah, so it's yeah, how it works is it's just a group of creatures that like augments your damage or does certain effects. But otherwise, like they don't have hit points, they can't be destroyed by attacks or whatever.
Interesting.
Are they
And
always there with you?
yes.
Oh, I don't like that. If they're there, they should be able to be destroyed.
It remains on your space, in your space, crawling on you or through your clothing or flying and skittering immediately around you within your space. As a bonus action, you can agitate them for 1 minute. When you do that, they deal 1d6 extra force damage, and the swarm moves the creature up to 5 feet toward you or away from you.
Okay.
That has a couple uses. At 7th level, you can do different kinds of movement based on your swarm. So, like, you can gain a fly speed of 10 feet and can hover. You can gain climb speed and do spider climbing. Or you can move faster and disengage as a bonus action. While your swarm is active. Okay, it's just when your swarm is active, you choose one of the following movement augments.
Interesting. We'll probably have to take some getting used to.
Oh, so this will be relevant for Driz, because he's super into the shaman from 4th edition. So at 11th level is you can take one of the spirits in your swarm and you kind of turn it into like a spirit familiar.
Interesting.
Where you turn it into a single tiny beast that becomes a bit bigger, gets its own movement forms. You can telepathically command it to move. It can hide using your stealth checks. You can speak through it. You can see and hear through it. It has an armor class, but it has no hit points. If it takes damage, you must succeed on a wisdom save. And if it fails, or if you fail the wisdom save, it just disappears.
Okay. Interesting. It would take some getting used to, I think. But
so yeah.
Sounds really cool, but I think it would definitely take some getting used to.
Yeah, I think I might be willing, certainly, to in a future game, play a Swarm Keeper with the base chassis for the Ranger. And we'll see how that goes. Oh, you also get bonus spells, which is again something that like the 2 base subclasses for Ranger don't get. But you get Fairy Fire, Web, Gaseous Form, Giant Insect, and Insect Plague.
Hey, Fairy Fire is pretty good.
Yeah, those are all fairly good spells. Gaseous Form in
Yeah.
particular is pretty
Yep.
good. So,
I am a large fan of Fairy Fire. So, yeah.
I like the idea of the ranger kind of being attuned with or in charge of some type of swarm. I think it's an interesting idea. Just flavor-wise.
Yeah.
I have to read more on the abilities and how it works. But
Yeah,
I like the
that's-
idea of, yeah, I think that's interesting that the ranger can just call forth a swarm of whatever.
Yeah.
Rather than a single animal. I think that's an interesting take.
yeah.
See, with the bunnies idea, I just think of
That's
Snow
coming
White and
straight-
Shrek.
That's coming straight from Jeremy Crawford. He said you could have bunnies, you could have...
No, but I
and
think of that
yeah.
that scene in what is it, Shrek 2, where Snow White comes out singing, and then all of the forest animals just attack. Yeah, that's what I think of, and I think it's.
I
awesome.
just, as DM, want the opportunity to slaughter all of those creatures in the swarm if they are just out and about.
But it kind of works like spiritual weapon. You can't attack a spiritual weapon.
I mean, they're also spirits.
You can dispel
Yeah.
it.
I mean, I suppose. I mean, it doesn't say
Yeah.
that it can be dispelled.
I would probably say you can dispel it.
I
Yeah.
suppose you could dispel if it's agitated and just deactivate it that way.
That's what I mean. I don't know. I haven't read to see how the abilities or how it actually functions mechanically.
Yeah.
So I'd
Yeah.
have to see that.
Oh, you also get Mage Hand.
Nice.
And when you cast it, the hand is just a hand composed of the swarming spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Hand of bees!
Oh.
Yes. Or hand
Okay.
of bunnies.
I mean,
So, yeah.
I like the idea of a hand of bees, but I would totally go miniature flying unicorns.
Sure.
Like, yeah, absolutely.
And then last up, we have the Revived, which is a rogue archetype. It's just you realize that you've been dead before.
Wait, so it's May.
It would totally work for May. And what you do is you remember,
no, because you don't remember your past lives really.
yeah.
Or well,
this is
as you level, you do.
Yeah, this is you. Not that you've died within your current lifetime, but that you realize that you've had past lives that have been unclear to you. Still might work for May.
Still might. Yup.
So yeah, it says you might have convinced a deity to let you return to the material plane. You might have signed a deal with a fiend. You maybe used an artifact to revive you. Could be something like Not the Brave.
Yep.
Where spoilers, turns out she was kind of like reincarnated, sort of.
Yeah, it's a weird.
But
Yeah.
it's basically like it gives you an option for almost like playing a revenant without having to play an undead creature. Because at level 3, you get advantage on saves against being diseased and poisoned. You have resistance to poison damage. You no longer need to eat, drink, or breathe. You don't need to sleep. When you take a long rest, you must spend 4 hours in an inactive, motionless state. In this state, you remain semi-conscious and can hear as normal. You can also... So, when you use Cunning Action, you can make a ranged spell attack against a creature within 30 feet of you by throwing like a ranged spell attack. Oh, bolts of necrotic energy. So yeah. So it deals necrotic damage. And the damage is your sneak attack damage. It also uses your sneak attack for the turn.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Very interesting.
You also get a special Speak with Dead ability at level 9. At level 13 is you have advantage on death saves, and whenever you make a death save, you can ask Death a question.
What?
That can be answered with yes, no, or I don't know.
What?
Yes.
Dude, that
I
would
think
be
I think
awesome
that
for
is the
May.
coolest ability. But
that
it
would
only
be
works.
awesome for May, considering how much she dies. Ugh.
Well, so it's whenever you make a death saving throw. In addition, whenever you have 0 hit points and are healed or stabilized, you can change any of your personal characteristics, your trait, ideal, bond, or flaw.
What?
You undergo a personality shift every time you come back from 0 hit points.
Do you have to?
You should. I would say
I mean, you should,
because that's-
absolutely. But
you are not required to. It is
Okay.
optional.
I think this is a very RP heavy character to play.
Oh,
yeah.
100%.
You're playing
Yeah.
this, you are all in on whatever your backstory is. So
Yep.
The whole thing is every time you are on the cusp of death, you remember part of one of your past lives, and that part of that personality starts to show through in your current character.
Oh, that's why
Yep.
your personality changes and stuff.
Yeah. And then at 17th level, you can use Cunning Action to teleport 30 feet. You don't need to see that space to teleport to it.
What? Man,
But
I
if you
wanna
attempt to
do this
teleport
now.
through magical force that is medium or larger, teleportation fails. And per regular teleportation stuff, if you try and teleport into an occupied space, you are immediately
Yeah.
shunted to the nearest unoccupied space and take force damage equal to twice the number of feet that you are moved from the initial space. So yeah.
Oh, so if you were only moved 5 feet, you would get 10.
You
10
would take
damage.
10 damage, 10 force damage. Yep.
Okay.
So
It's a calculated move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
So yeah. So yeah.
That is, oh my gosh, that is so cool. Sean, can I change?
We'll talk about it.
Cool.
I have to do a quick AFK. So why don't
Wow.
y'all continue talking about that, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, no, because that would be so cool for May. I think
Just do it and do a different character.
thing is, I'm so attached to May. I love her so dearly, and she is so much a
Right.
part of me.
Right. Find another game and do another character.
Dude, I don't have time to do another game. I don't have time to play in another game.
I have a very long list of characters I want to play. I just gotta wait for the time.
Yeah, that's kind of the tough part. Is I keep hearing about these awesome Unearthed Arcana character things, and I just get all these ideas about what I want to do.
I just use them as NPCs, honestly. I don't have the opportunity to play that many characters, so
Yeah.
I often just take a lot of my character ideas and use them as NPCs.
Yeah.
Which
I mean
for
that
me
totally
well.
works if you have something to use NPCs in.
Yeah, which I do.
But I don't have. I also unfortunately don't have I barely have time to play in our games.
Yeah, I hear that.
Between school and family and everything else, yeah. But no,
Welcome back.
it's something that Sean, we should talk.
Yes, we should discuss that.
We need to discuss that.
Especially since you're such a terrible assassin.
Yes, I am the worst assassin. It's wonderful. It's almost like a joke at this point. No, it's always been a joke. It's always been a joke.
Kind of. I mean, it's why I wanted you to switch to Artificer Alchemist way back when.
Yeah, I still thought about that for a while, but this one I think.
I mean, you still could do that too. Eberron comes out next month.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think I'll take a closer look at it when that happens.
At the rate we're going, Eberron might come out before we even have our next session.
No, next session is on the 1st.
I know. It just feels that way. So.
Yeah.
But
been
yeah,
a
no, we can
crazy
totally
couple of
because I believe. Let me just double check. These things might already be on D&D Beyond.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think because we have the ultimate thing, I think that it might be available. So long as you picked having Unearthed Arcana stuff available.
Yeah, let me just.
That's one of the cool things about D&D Beyond is that you can do stuff
Yes.
as soon as
Yes,
these
all
things come
three of
out.
these are currently in D&D Beyond. They've actually been doing a really good job at getting the new Unearthed Arcanas up on there.
Mm-hmm.
Also because like some of these are a little less complicated than others. So
Yeah.
I mean, the Ranger one, when you actually get down to it, doesn't really have a lot of other fiddly stuff.
Yep.
I mean, Beastmaster by far is the most complicated out of the... Actually, the two Player's Handbook ones are the most complicated Ranger subclasses.
Yeah.
With Beastmaster requiring a totally different section of the character sheet required. And just Hunter having all the different options to pick from.
Yeah.
At each level. Whereas the other ones just follow a very strict sort of progression of like, you get like, one or two abilities and like a bunch of spells.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes the hunter options are like, do you want the ranged AoE or do you want the melee AoE?
Yes, but it's having the decision making as part of that definitely affects how complicated the programming is for the subclass.
Sure.
Yeah. Whereas aside from being like, okay, well, you just get option A instead of having like option
it's
A,
like,
B, or
this
C.
is your progression. This is your charting. This is how it goes.
Yep. So yeah, I'm excited for all these things. I'm excited for the fact that we have all these super cool subclasses now to pick from. I mean, because we also got Way of the Astral Self as part of this round of subclasses, which is now still the coolest monk subclass. I don't care what anybody says.
It's
followed by Sun Soul, and then followed by Way of the Open Fist or Open Hand.
Monk is just awesome.
It's pretty cool. Yeah,
I think it might be the most interesting class in 5e.
Yeah.
Overall.
Monks?
Yeah.
I think so.
I would enjoy playing a monk. Being able to just use
we got to do that JoJo's Bizarre Adventure game where we all play Way of the Astral Self monks.
Yes.
And then the one person that says, no, I want to be Goku, and they play a Sun Soul. Yes. Actually, you could argue that you would just play Jonathan Joestar and play Sun Soul Monk. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. And then we can use my custom vampire class, and that person can play Dio. Vampire
Monk.
we
haven't thought about this at all.
I mean, Dio would still be an Astral Self.
True. He'd just be a vampire Astral Self.
Yeah.
Monk, yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
I'm gonna nod along and pretend I know what you guys are talking
about. You thought this was a discussion about Unearthed Arcana, but it was me, Dio.
Yes.
And with that, that is going to wrap up the news for the past week. So why don't we discuss what's been going on with 8-Bit Adventures?
Yes.
So new comic this week. Comic 312, Team Meeting.
Yes.
Where basically team meets to vote on how they're going to respond to the news that not only are NPCs in the 8-Bit Adventures world unable to respawn when killed, which is kind of a big deal. But now there's been a whole zone that's been raised. with a Z, not with an AI.
Yeah.
So imagine, if you will, for those that are familiar with World of Warcraft, back in Cataclysm, if Deathwing came by and firebombed the zone, and then those NPCs just stayed dead.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yep.
I'm scared.
So.
I'm scared. What's gonna
Yep.
happen?
Well, one thing is, that bug is gonna have to get fixed so that NPCs
I
can
was gonna
respawn
say
once
they
more.
they have to fix it. They have to fix it.
And then we'll find out, is this raising of a whole zone, like, is that intended behavior, or has something else happened?
Oh man. Oh. You just
So, yeah.
made my tummy queasy by thinking about that happening.
Krakentoa.
Krakentoa.
So I'm super excited to draw that boss at some point. Just a big old magma kraken.
Oh.
That'll be cool. Yeah. So, as far as podcasts go, Megan and I did our first episode of Berkshire Bites back from our break. We went to Cheese up in Adams.
Yay.
Cheese Chinese cuisine.
Very classic Adams Cheshire
Yep.
establishment.
Yep.
It's not like I grew up eating that my whole life.
Yeah. Overall, we had a good time. There were some items that we had on the menu that were a little so-so, but I mean that kind of it has the distinction of being the only restaurant we have reviewed so far, and probably the only one we will review, that has both Coke and Pepsi products.
Whoa!
What?
Yes.
Really?
Which I feel like deserves a mention, because that's kind of an anomaly. So what it is, they have, for fountain drinks, it's all Pepsi, but they also have canned Coke products. Presumably for delivery.
Okay.
So yeah.
Interesting.
Yes. So.
That's definitely an anomaly.
Yeah. But all in all, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then as far as streams this week, this week is an art stream week. So I'll be working on more D&D commissions. I'll be working on another commission for Driz and his D&D character.
Cool.
Who is a changeling, but we're not doing the natural changeling form for the commission. So it won't be clear when viewing it that it's a changeling, that the character's a changeling. So yeah.
I'm gonna throw out my opinion. So just what I would do if I were an artist, I would have the changeling standing back against, almost a silhouette of the changeling, that they're back against whatever the current form they're showing it, just to show that, I don't know, that it's not.
Maybe.
But
Otherwise,
they're not
it's just
how they appear.
Otherwise, it's just a picture of a character.
And Driz does point out in the chat, she was under deep cover all campaign. So I'm not sure if the other players knew that this character was a changeling until much later in the campaign. So, but yeah. So I'll work on that. He says not for 4 months that they did not know that this character was a changeling.
Oh, so, wow. That's some pretty deep cover. Wait,
yes.
For in-game months? Or real world months?
Unclear. We'll have to wait for the delay.
Yeah.
So.
Because those are two very different time spans.
Real world months.
Okay. Still, that's
16 weeks.
Impressive.
Yes.
That is still very impressive.
Yeah.
To keep other players in the dark about that.
Yep.
So
yeah. And as always, it turns out the rewards on the Stream store have been updated so that if you're looking to do a group piece, like a group portrait. That is now, I think, 300 pie cakes
Oh, so you can
instead
like,
of 60.
so you can like
And
team.
it was noted before that the commission was single character.
Mm-hmm.
So so yeah.
Interesting.
So and then as far as next week, so because next week's going to be Halloween, I might put up a
Yeah.
poll as far as what game to play. But I'm kind of leaning towards, so I want to do something spooky, but not something too spooky, since apparently I couldn't even watch the Travis Willingham's Yeehaw Spooky Ranch last night when they were playing Outlast.
Really?
Yeah, that was
See, I don't go towards anything spooky, so yeah, no. Courtney does
yeah.
not do spook.
It was like you're a reporter in an insane asylum kind of a thing, and like
Oh.
you're investigating ghosts or something, so like you also have a camcorder. And like there'll be times when the lights go out and you have to use the like infrared mode on the
Hey, who
camcorder,
turned out the lights?
and that's all you see. But it was
Yeah.
like they go into a room and there's just like this table with like a pool of blood and blood dripping down from the ceiling, and you have to go through it in order to get up into the air vents. And I was just like, nope, I'm out.
Nope.
When really what I wanted to do was see how far Travis would get before he noped out.
Yeah.
So what I might be
I was
doing
pretty.
is
I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty impressed with how well Travis did going through the haunted house.
yeah.
Like, as somebody who would have been in the fetal position, like, no, like,
Yeah.
5 minutes in, not even. I am very impressed with how Travis did.
Yeah. Well, it's also double for you because you don't like clowns.
Yeah, no. Although it wasn't that bad because having the pictures at the beginning saying who some of them were was not as bad because I could see
But
who
Travis
it
didn't
was
know that.
underneath. But Travis didn't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that would have been.
So I'm pretty sure for most people Sam Riegel dressed up as a homicidal clown crab walking toward you in a dark hallway would probably be enough for most people to nope out.
Yep.
Or to accidentally hit you with a bat.
I mean,
anyway,
it happens.
Anyway, but what I might consider doing is playing a game that many of us mere mortals are afraid of playing for different reasons. Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
Oh God.
Or if it's Super Ghosts and Goblins, whatever one is on the Super NES online. So might be doing that. Luigi's Mansion is also going to be out.
Yep.
But that game, I think that game might be a little too big to play on just a single Halloween stream.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you're not gonna get past the first couple levels in Ghouls and Ghosts, so I mean,
perfect.
It's just gonna be you going through those first couple levels over and over again.
Well, that's why they put the rewind feature in Super NES Online.
Oh, Jesus!
It sounds like they put it specifically for that game because that's what the one that they used to advertise that feature.
Yeah, you need it. You need it for that one.
Oh yeah. So
that is an incredibly difficult game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah. So that will be so the art stream will be Thursday this week, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So Eastern Daylight Time because we haven't hit daylight savings yet.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
That is going to wrap up what's going on in 8-Bit Adventures. So now it's time to move on to Quest Log. Quest Log is where we talk about what sort of geeky stuff we've personally been doing over the past week. So Courtney,
yeah,
what have you been up to?
Besides possibly breaking my ankle today by sitting on it, nothing, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been sick, and then I don't know. I'm breaking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get better.
I'm trying.
Use a med pack.
Yeah, if it's not one thing, it's another.
So, okay.
I'm seriously considering that scooter, Sean. I'm seriously considering it.
Yep. So Josh,
Yes.
what have you been up to?
Zug.
Of course.
Yeah, just on that WoW Classic. Yeah, still chugging away. Got
Oh
my
no!
main-
I just realized I forgot another big piece of information
What?
Oh,
from this week. That's
What?
relevant for Josh. Deathwing has been announced for Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, I saw that. It doesn't matter. 'Cause I don't play HOTS anymore. I saw that. Whatever.
Perpetual dragon form.
Yeah. Interesting. I don't play HOTS anymore because I lost all my
Yep.
account info, so I'm not going through all that again to unlock every character and the amount of time I had to put in. But
yeah.
So
yeah.
anyway.
Level 60 on that enhanced shaman. It's about the most boring raid class in the world because you just sit there and auto attack.
Yep.
Literally, that's all you're basically allowed to do. Can't storm strike because it puts a debuff on the enemy. Enemies can only have 16 debuffs on them, so you're knocking off someone else's more important debuff to put your stupid storm strike on.
Oh
So
boy.
you can't even do that. If I throw my shocks, I'm probably gonna pull aggro off the tank because I don't know why they decided enhancement shaman's abilities need to generate so much aggro.
Because you're an
Allegedly,
off tank.
They were supposed to have a tank spec, I guess, in original development that
Yes.
just never got finished, which makes sense as to why Rockbiter generates aggro and why Earthshock generates so much aggro.
Yep.
Other abilities just generate so much aggro in general. But yeah, regardless, it's still just fun to raid with my friends, so that's the fun bit. And I've made a couple ults. I made my hunter, still putzing around with my hunter, got that up to like level 22. Made a mage just to have a magic-y class as well.
Made a mage to have a mage.
Yeah, I just wanted to do I wanted to play all classes that felt different from each other. I mean, I'd like to play warrior, but honestly, playing a warrior is going to feel very samey to playing my enhancement shaman in the end. So if I'm going to play a DPS, so not going to bother with that. So yeah, just doing that. Having fun with the people I'm playing with, so that's the important bit. And
that is absolutely the important bit.
Yeah, because the game itself is just meh. It's whatever. Honestly, it's fine.
Tell me how you really feel.
It is what it is. It's the game that came out 15 or whatever years ago. It's the same thing. It's like I don't think it's objectively better than the game is now. It's certainly a little bit different, and there's some aspects that I think there's a couple aspects I think are more interesting and nicer and form a kind of decent community because of the way it's designed. And there's others where it's just like I don't think these guys knew what they were doing when they made this game. Like with gear itemization is awful and classes are not complete, and like druids and shaman are not complete classes. It's like
that's what patches were for.
Well, and that's
that's what expansions were for.
There weren't that many games before it that you had EverQuest, you had
I played a little bit of
there
EverQuest.
was also there was some kind of like Camelot one.
Ultima, Dayak, Dark Age of Camelot, Ultima Online. I don't know if Dayak came out before. It probably did.
Ragnarok Online.
Yes. So like that's what it had to draw from. And if you played those games, obviously WoW is heavily inspired from EverQuest for 100%.
Oh yeah,
100%. It was wanted to be a more accessible version of that because EverQuest was a very punishing game and a very difficult game to really, really get into. From what I've heard and from the little bit I played of EverQuest 2, I can totally see that. So I don't know. There's just a lot of aspects of vanilla WoW that are just compared to a lot of the quality of life things going on in the game now. It's just meh. I still think the people who are praising it so much just are whiners.
I'd say they're more. I would say that they're more nostalgia hounds. Where they just
No,
want
they are whiners and they want to feel. No, it's so there's this guy called Asmongold on Twitch, and he
Oh
streams.
god.
Wow.
Okay. Oh
Well,
no.
I have to bring him up because he's a
Yeah.
huge influencer of the WoW player base.
Yeah.
And so he plays up this. I don't know if it's really his feelings, but he plays up this character that just whines and complains about the current state of the game, and not to totally regard everything he says. He makes some valid points, but it's just like that's his shtick. He just complains
his
about the
whole
game,
thing.
and then is like, "Oh, Classic is so much better in every single way," which, in some ways, true. I agree. There's some ways it's true, but it's just overall, you're comparing apples and oranges, and it's like berating people for like you can like what you like. If you like retail, you like retail. If you don't, if you like classic, you like classic. Who cares? Or if you like both, you like both. But like it's like a gatekeeping type of deal. So
that's no fun.
Like yeah, if you're whatever, you're not you're not elite enough if you don't play classic or whatever. It's just like that type of feeling. Like with any community, there's a toxic, a vocal toxic.
There will always be a toxic element in any community.
Well, that's
Yep.
everything. That's everything. That's not just video games. That's everything.
Yep,
period.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like in any community, there's always going to be that toxicness.
But that being said, it is a drag on the rest of the community because it's so vocal and so prevalent. So whatever. I don't even know how I got to that, but I'm still playing classic WoW.
You got onto it with Asmongold and whiners.
He is a whiner.
But anyway.
So Sean, what have you been playing?
Link's Awakening.
Yay! I had a feeling.
So I finally got around to playing that now that I finished River City Girls. I do have to say, so yeah, there are some really pronounced frame rate issues every time like you go to a new area. So that is, it is enough where it kind of takes me out of the game. Every time it's like it drops down to like, 10 frames or so for like a second or two. Yeah, I mean it's bad.
Man, that's
so it drops down to like the teens, and then once like it kind of loads all the assets for that area, like it doesn't have assets pop in or everything, but like once it loads all the data for the area, then it jumps right back up.
Yeah, but like
so it's basically like you just have to wait. It's like a second or two.
So why don't you just put it in the put a loading screen?
Because it's all open, Courtney. They're not segmented areas.
They're not. Okay. That's fair. So, I forgot that it was all open again.
Yep.
So.
So that's a little rough. But I mean, puzzles are great. The dungeons are great. I've been playing around with the dungeon building feature. That's pretty cool. Where you build your own dungeons. I've also been still playing Magic the Gathering Puzzle Quest. That continues to be highly entertaining. Learning a lot of the strategies involved. Still really RNG based because because it's match 3, like you can get cascading combos and everything, which will like give you mana. So like you can get a bunch of you can get like a 5 or 6 cascading combo and just like fill up your entire hand with mana and just be able to play everything in your hand. Which, is kind of usually like an auto win. So really what it boils down to is including cards that can kind of stack that. So cards that are like land cards or, artifacts that will change the gem colors, or just plain green, which is always the best. So, I'm having a lot of fun with that. And I think, I was looking at Final Fantasy 14. Haven't decided to go with that yet, since I just got a bunch of games.
Oh, yeah. I last week, because I was sick, I picked up I had pre-ordered Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 Enhanced Edition for
Yes.
Switch. And I need to go sometime this week and pick up my pre-order of Vampire for
There you go.
Switch. So maybe I'll get some playtime in this weekend when
Yep.
I am chilling with family,
Yep.
because I don't know what this ankle is doing.
Yeah.
Who knows what they're gonna say?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I have gotten some games. I just haven't gotten a chance to play anything.
Yeah.
But these have been on my list. Like, I've wanted Vampire since it was coming out for stationary consoles.
Yeah.
So that's waiting for me at GameStop.
Cool.
Yeah.
I will say Final Fantasy 14 is an excellent MMO.
Yeah, it was because I'm still on the fence about whether I want to return to Warcraft, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll try this Final Fantasy 14 thing.
What class would you want to play?
I'd probably start with Archer.
Archer
Shocker.
eventually becomes Bard.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What eventually is there like a ranger like class?
Bard.
Great. There really isn't like a hunter or sniper type class?
Nope.
That's interesting.
If I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Let's look up, because I know there's a whole bunch of them.
Here's the other interesting bit on that. Your character can be any class.
Yes.
In fact, you keep all the levels in each class you level up. You can switch back and forth.
Here we go. Final Fantasy 14
weapons and stuff you have equipped.
Job guide.
I don't.
And I'm gonna. So here's what we got. Okay. So Paladin, Warrior, Dark Knight, Gunbreaker.
That's if you want to have a gunblade. It's a tank.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, that just came out in the most recent expansion.
White Mage, Scholar, Astrologian, Monk,
Mm-hmm.
Dragoon, Ninja, Samurai, Bard, Machinist, Dancer.
Machinist, I guess. They're guns.
I think Machinist, that's what were they called? In Tactics Advance, they had Mughals that were like gunslinger type stuff.
Engineer.
I forget what they were
It might
called
have been
though.
called Engineer.
Maybe.
But yeah, it's from the original Tactics is what it came from.
Okay. So I might do that.
So they're arranged. So yeah, I forgot about the Machinist. Bard is basically your ranger.
And then Black Mage, Summoner, Red Mage.
Yeah.
Cool.
I played Dragoon. And I liked it quite a bit.
Yeah, I'd probably be Bard. Oh, yeah, it's still okay. So it's all right. So Bard is basically Robin Hood. You shoot arrows and you sing songs.
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. But again, I don't know. It's because I'd imagine because it's another MMO, it'd be a big financial and time commitment. From what I understand, a big time commitment as well.
It is.
The
leveling's at least I'll say this: it's got the story goes through the whole leveling process.
Yes.
So like there's a congruent whole story from level 1 all the way through.
Yep.
Which is, I think, Warcraft didn't really have that. Even when they changed it in Cataclysm, it didn't really have that. But I mean, they do it a little bit in the expansions and the expansion zones.
Yeah.
Just each zone kind of has a bit of a story.
Yep.
But that was one of the cool things about that. I never really messed with the PvP in that game.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
It wasn't. I don't know. It didn't seem great, so I didn't bother with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tab target style, so I mean, nothing new to get used to there. It's not like an action-oriented one. I liked it quite a bit.
Yeah.
If you play, let me know. Maybe I'll reactivate my account.
Yeah, I think I might see how things go. I mean, here's the thing: like,
it's a big investment of time.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, I mean, I think I'll know more after BlizzCon, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And see if maybe responses to things at BlizzCon change opinion, or I've also been thinking, like,
mess.
I've also been thinking, you know, on the one hand, like, it's, so those were very corporate decisions, and that was from, like, a specific team and not the team over here. And I certainly also, it becomes a thing of, like, wanting to make sure corporate gets a message versus still wanting to support, like, the people that are actually working on the stuff, who are not making 6-figure incomes, or 7-figure incomes.
I was gonna say, you were talking executives at a very large company. They're
Yeah.
probably like 7-figure income for those
7-figure incomes. Although developers probably not making 6-figure incomes either.
Not the devs, no, not normal
no.
devs.
No.
No.
Based on talks where we had game devs come in and speak to several of our classes at Williams.
Oh.
Where, in fact, I currently make more than some of the game devs that are
Yeah, for sure.
in the area.
Yep.
But yeah, so I may still stick with Warcraft. Maybe. I don't know. Or it might, I don't know.
BlizzCon's in what, like a couple weeks?
Yeah, it's in a couple weeks.
It's going to be hilarious.
100%.
You know
Regardless
how
of what happens.
Hong Kong May cosplays there's going to be?
Yep. All of them.
All.
Yep.
I'm going to be curious if they even let those people in. There's going to be tons of people wearing like free Hong Kong shirts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I am willing to bet they don't even let those people in the door.
Probably not.
And that'll be even make it even a bigger mess for them.
Yep.
And then
also, depending on who they get for their security detail, because apparently, if you recall, security was a huge issue last year, where it was just a giant mess with whatever security firm they hired.
Oh, really?
Where like they were like flat out accepting bribes.
Sick.
They were like not letting people with media passes in.
Ooh.
That like, so it was a couple of podcasters that like were supposed to be hosting like one of the big panels, and they were like not letting them in with equipment that they were supposed to like be able to bring in, kind of a thing.
What?
Oh yeah, it was there were so many complaints about security. I think it was last year. So I can just imagine if they get like the same company, it's going to be an absolute disaster. But there are theories that it's highly theorized that Diablo 4, since that got leaked, that there's theories that basically, oh well, if they just announce the right stuff, everybody's going to forget about it and just go crazy over the announcements.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So basically, my decision is coming down to I know a lot of the folks that are actually working on things probably don't agree with the decision, like the corporate decisions. So do I want to support them versus not supporting corporate?
Yeah.
And I still don't know. So I may wait until BlizzCon and figure it out. And like I said, I'm on the 6-month subscription plan, so it's paid through March. So the decision wouldn't even come up through then. I haven't played anything since this stuff happened. So who knows? Maybe I'll just pick up Final Fantasy XIV for like a month and see how that goes.
Yeah.
So
I think you can get a free 30 days.
I think so, and it takes you up to like level 30 or something, which like it might take
remember.
me. It might take me 30 days to get that far.
I imagine it'll take you a while.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Might be a
time will tell.
Might be a clear out Nintendo backlog first, and then try that out.
Yep.
So I would say wait until I have a break over the holidays, but I won't get such a break. So
yeah.
So yeah.
I might get some game time in during semester breaks, but who knows exactly how much time that will be.
Well, you also likely won't be traveling.
No, I might go see my dad in Texas.
Oh, okay. But you won't be taking you. It's I can't bring my PC with me places.
No, you can't.
So
I mean, you could, but it would be more trouble than.
Yeah.
It would be more of a hurt than a help. So.
Or you know what? I'm taking a half day on Friday to prep for the party. And then since we don't have D&D this weekend, maybe I'll just try it out this weekend.
There you go.
Who knows? Go. Got all that sweet wedding money. But that I think is going to wrap it up for this week, folks. So, if you would like to see more content from 8-Bit Adventures, be sure to check out 8-bitadventures.com. Over there you can find comics, podcasts, streams, videos, and more. If you want to help support that content and help it grow, you can become a patron at patreon.com/8bitadventures. You can become a patron for as little as $1 singular American dollar a month. And you get early access to the comics, access to the exclusive Speedy and Monty comics.
Yeah!
And access to special, like, behind-the-scenes content.
Yes.
And big shout-out and thank you to all of our current patrons.
Woo-woo.
Thank you very much. Because of your support, things like Berkshire Bites are able to happen.
Yeah.
Lastly, I want to give out a shout-out and thank you to Professor Shy Guy for letting us use 1UP as our opening theme. You can find his work over at professorshyguy.bandcamp.com. With that, we are done. So, without further ado, have fun, everyone. Happy gaming. And enjoy your pie cake.
Bye, everybody.